Hello, my name is Vivien Moorhouse. I'm currently employed as a head teacher of a small rural school and nursery in Aberdeenshire Council. I'm here to talk to you about Module 1, Dyslexia and Inclusive Practice. So why did I do the module? What was my motivation? When I was employed as a support for learning teacher, I wanted to support the children as best as I could. So I wanted to know what challenges learners faced, how barriers could be removed, and I realised I had a gap in my learning, especially about dyslexia, what it meant to be dyslexic and the barriers dyslexic children face. To bridge that gap in my learning, I applied to join the pilot project, and I was delighted I was selected to be part of it. It included working with Dyslexia Scotland and the General Teaching Council for Scotland. I, with 29 others, undertook 3 modules and an inquiry research project. The inquiry research project was the basis for the application for professional recognition in dyslexia and inclusive practice. And I was really honoured to receive my professional recognition from Mr. John Swinney, the Deputy First Minister and Cabinet Secretary for Education and Skills, just last year. The modules were developed by Dyslexia Scotland, Education Scotland, the Addressing Dyslexia Toolkit Working Group, Scottish Government and the Open University. And this is the first of 3 free online modules that you can undertake. It supplements the route map for Dyslexia and Inclusive Practice, and it supports the General Teaching Council's professional standards. The module also supports the recommendations from the 2014 Education Scotland Review, Making Sense, Education for Children and Young People with Dyslexia in Scotland. If you look at the list, you will see the list of the items that will be discussed in the module: the education context in Scotland and the national agenda. What is dyslexia and its impact? Dyslexia and inclusive practice. Effective communication. How dyslexia is identified. Information and practical support strategies. I'm going to outline these in greater detail later on, but these are just the main points that the module covers. The module will take you about 3 hours to complete. You can either just cram the whole lot in 3 hours and do it from start to finish, or you can actually go through it slowly and take over a few weeks to do it. There's no time limit. You take your time, you work on it, and it gives you time to reflect on your readings. There are 2 project quizzes that you have to undertake during the readings and an end of module quiz. On completion of the module, you receive a statement of participation and a digital badge. Both these can be uploaded to the General Teaching Council site to show your MyPL learning in the GTCS website. During your module, you also can complete reflective logs that help you to develop your thinking and your learning about what dyslexia means. The module itself is really easy to access, to read and follow. It does a really good order. You can work online or you can work offline by downloading all the materials and working on it. If you work offline, what you would need to do is go back online when you're ready and process that you've attempted each section. Then you can go and do the quizzes, and it also shows you your progress to date. So what's in the content? So it talks about the Scottish context of education for education and inclusive practice to support all learners. It looks at all the national policies that are going on in Scotland right now, the National Improvement Framework, legislation and policies, Making Sense report, How Good is Our School For, or HIGIS 4 as it's otherwise known, General Teaching Council standards, Scotland's delivery plan for education, the National Improvement Hub, the Scottish Attainment Challenge, and developing a young workforce. It includes all those aspects of education. Education context. The education system is an inclusive one which is needs-led, but there is a national agenda, the legislative and guidance context within local authorities, teachers and other educators. And the module refers to that in all the examples that I've given you a minute ago. It also defines what dyslexia is using the Scottish Government definition of dyslexia. It gives a description of the range of indicators and the characteristics of dyslexia, which is really important. It gives you dyslexia and inclusive practices, support for that, not just for dyslexic pupils, but these are practices which can be used by all pupils in your class, so that everybody can participate fully. And it means that they can move and positively forward and have a positive destination when they leave school, like college, uni, or work. The module outlines the need for effective communication, respect and partnership working between schools and families, and gives advice on how to do this. This is really important, keeping families informed. The module also outlines how to identify dyslexia through a holistic and collaborative approach process, following the pathway flowchart. It's an ongoing process, it's not just a one-off. The module also, most importantly, gives sound advice and sources to develop your knowledge. For example, addressing the Dyslexia Toolkit, Dyslexia Scotland, Call Scotland, Scottish Government, and Education Scotland. And when you're ready, you can sit the quizzes. As I said before, the module also shows you your progress, and you continue through the module until you reach 100%. The module provided an introduction for me to develop positive approaches to supporting dyslexia and ensure my teaching practices were inclusive. It outlined the definition of dyslexia, which then defined a range of indicators and characteristics. And I had not realized, for example, dyslexic children could be impacted on the following: auditory and visual processing, oral language skills and reading fluency, sequencing and directionality, organizational ability, phonological awareness, short-term and working memory, number skills, motor skills, and coordination. And these are all areas that you need to look at in your classroom to ensure that you're meeting the child's needs. Impact is really important. Why do this module unless there's impact in your class? So it allowed me to gain confidence in how I would support and help pupils with dyslexia. The module has made an impact on my practice as it made me aware of the good and effective communication and partnership working I needed to ensure was in place for the pupils and the parents and the school. And it made me more confident in effectively identifying a pupil with dyslexia to assist when planning, learning, monitoring literacy difficulties in line with legislation. Through undertaking the modules, I then felt confident enough to train other members of staff within Aberdeenshire Council, and I currently still train staff and probationers every year. Knowledge in dyslexia and inclusive practices has resulted in a positive impact in the inclusive practices of the attendees of these training sessions. They then know how to work with children in their class who are dyslexic. The module also gave me confidence to talk at the Dyslexia Scotland Education Conference in October 2018 and to the cross-party on dyslexia at Holyrood in January 2019. It has been a really positive experience and helped me to grow. It's a really good chance for anyone else to enhance their professional development in dyslexia and inclusive practice. I'd encourage you to start with Module 1 and good luck with your studies. Thank you for listening. Bye.